Here is a mega worldwide radio program with Hal Sparks.
We love Dick K, even though he did. We love Dick K, even though he got the name of the show wrong.
Poor guy.
You know the origins at Hal Sparks, because originally when we were starting this show a long time ago, I was like, what am I going to call it? And I was like, it has to be distinct from everything. It's like, I used to tour with my band and just say Hal Sparks because it was just me and my band or whatever. But then people are like, why is Hal Sparks doing sketch comedy at the Viper Room? I don't understand. Yeah. And then come see the band and like, oh, it's a serious band. So we had to get a name for it. And when we decided to do a radio show, I was like, what do we call it? Because the show, I'm like, I have a lot of shows. So if people just go, I love your show, I'm like, which show are you talking about? So it became the Hal Sparks radio program, and then somebody miswrote it as HSRPM, like rotations per minute or whatever. And so we had to come up in, what the M meant. And since we were streaming on the internet, as bad as we have a difficulty streaming, it was like mega worldwide. I was just like, I don't know, that sounded good. And then my son said it, and I was like, that's it. Like the recording of Cam saying it is just so, mega worldwide is so funny at 3 years old when he was initially doing it. Oh my God, we've been doing the show since before my son was born.
We have.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I heard that.
And the place goes deathly silent. Right. We're going to actually start taking questions from people here because rather than take calls, we got people who actually came down. So literally the whole place has been waiting on hold.
Yeah, we've got our old friend Carrie helping out. Good to see you, Carrie.
Yeah, so when she gives you the mic, say your name and say hello because people can't see it. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
I was wondering if maybe the 25% or 15% tariffs they put on steel and aluminum could have been a retaliation to like Ford turning down Cohen on the whatever they were doing.
I've often believed that this was like the act of thanks, Joe.
Thanks, man.
There's clearly who was it that posted it first? It was Malcolm or somebody was putting up that there's clearly a pay for thing going on with some of these governments in the Trump organization. I'm like, I think it's worse than that. I think it's extortion. I think what's going on, like the Qatar government bailed out.
Yeah, the Qatar thing is amazing.
Or the Chinese government bailing out. I think that's extortion. I think there's an act of saying, if you don't want this to happen, you better pay up, which is way different than the normal bribery thing. Because we always think of it as a corporate first mentality.
Right.
The corporations come to a politician and say, we'll give you such and such money if you help us pass a bill. And that's our kind of standard understanding of graft in this country. I think the Trump organization is the first to take a mafia approach to this because they understand the leverage. Once they started getting their briefings on stuff.
They already have like lines where they can trace Jared speaking with a saying, country.
Basically, if you don't do this, we're gonna make life very hard for your country. And they can do that. And you think of it on the scale, we think about Russia, and we think about China, and we think about the European Union as these bigger things. But there are small countries all over the world that rely on the sort of financial goodwill of the United States to do business. And I don't mean charity. I mean just interacting with other countries.
Right.
There's a big, and Qatar's a good example of that. That literally we're holding them hostage until they, bail out the Trump organization, essentially. So it's a big concern. All right, next.
That's a great shirt, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Hey, Hal, how you doing? My name is Monaco.
Hey, Monaco.
I wanted to